Now in 4 News Now, the Meade School Board is making a decision tonight about transgender athletes. Why some are calling for a statewide conversation.
We are drying out tonight for a sunny Tuesday, but I am tracking more rain on the way. I'll tell you when it will arrive in your first alert forecast.
Plus, utility rates in Spokane are set to rise over the next few years. How much more you'll be paying. You're watching a special edition of 4 News Now. The Meade School Board is set to vote on a resolution to call on the WIAA to take a look at their policy that allows transgender athletes to participate in girls' sports. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Derek Dice. Kirsten O'Connor has the night off. If approved, Meade would join the Eastmont and Linden school districts in asking the WIAA to examine how the current policies allow biological males to compete in high school sports. The WIAA's policy says all students should have the opportunity to participate in WIAA athletics and/or activities in a manner that is consistent with their gender identity. But some say transgender athletes have an unfair advantage.
There is nothing that a female can do to offset the biological and physical advantages over a female that a male is born with.
School board meeting that just came to an end. We'll have more on this decision for you coming up a little bit later in this newscast. And a large crowd of people dressed in blue also attended the Meade School Board meeting to show support for the nearly 400 union workers demanding better pay and benefits. The Meade PSC union that represents a variety of employees of the district claims negotiations with the district have stalled.
We need them to come to the table. We need them to recognize who we are, what we do inside and outside of the classroom. We need them to know and support us and pay us what we deserve.
Right now, the union tells us a strike is not being considered. However, if negotiations continue to stall, it may become a possibility. In Western Washington tonight, a teenager in King County is now in custody in connection to a reported shooting that left 5 people dead, including 2 other teenagers. Investigators say it happened in the Falls City area east of Issaquah. The King County Sheriff's Office investigating the shooting as a domestic violence event. Neighbors reported disturbance involving gunfire. The sheriff's office says the teen boy is in custody and did not elaborate on his relationship to the victims, but they say this could be a long investigation.
This scene will be a very significant forensic examination that's going to take a lot of time, several days.
And this is a developing story, and we'll update you as soon as we learn more. Well, a well-known Spokane dermatologist is now facing charges for using pandemic recovery funds to pay for things like luxury cars and even a house. According to court documents, Dr. William Werschler, who owns Spokane Dermatology Clinic, devised a scheme to defraud the Small Business Administration. He's said to have applied for and received 3 different loans to cover business expenses lost during the pandemic. But none of that money is meant for personal use. But investigators say Dr. Werschler used the money to buy a home in Scottsdale, and in 2021 he was messaging an employee about buying a Porsche. You can find the full story on our website right now, KXLY.com. All right, Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker joins us now. And Chris, the rain is behind us, and we have some beautiful fall weather on the way now.
Yes, and it is behind us, but it's also down the road in the 7-day forecast. 4 things to know about your weather. It is going to be dry overnight, a beautiful sunny Tuesday. We have some frosty mornings in the forecast. If you have yet to harvest the last of your garden or grapes or whatever you have growing, you might want to do that tomorrow, and then we have a rainy weekend on the way. Doppler radar right now is showing dry conditions across the region, except right up along the Canadian border where we still have some showers, and I've even heard a rumble of thunder in the last hour up around Bonners Ferry. Those showers will be coming to an end very soon. Our winds have died down after a breezy late afternoon and evening. Winds generally 10 miles per hour or less, and it's going to be a much calmer day on Tuesday and much sunnier. Expect blue skies and sunshine throughout the day. 36 for a morning low, heading to a high of 55, which is exactly average. We do have some colder mornings on the way, plus that rain I was talking about. I'll let you know when to expect it in just a few minutes, Derek.
Chris, thank you. Well, people living in Spokane will notice a change in their utility bills next year. The city voted this week to increase utility rates in 2025 and again in 2026. Madeline Mullins spoke with city administration about why they're raising the prices and how much you can expect your bill to increase.
We have been at a 2.9% utility rate annual increase for approximately 10 years. And we've reached that point where we are running at a deficit because it is not keeping up with inflation.
That inability to keep up with inflation is why the city voted to raise utility rates.
One of the things the city talked about when discussing raising utility rates was making sure that the prices were predictable for everyone in the city.
That's why we staggered those amounts so it wouldn't be as much of a jump from one year then to the next.
That staggering looks like a rise of utility prices of almost 5% for 2025 and a little over 5% for 2026. That comes out to around $7 a month increase for the first year and over an $8 increase the second year.
It's never easy to increase prices. We're all feeling the pinch for sure.
Davis says that there are ways that some senior citizens and those on a fixed income can lower the cost of their utility bill.
For qualified folks, they'll receive a discount so that the first year they'll get one amount and then the following year they'll double that. So really when you look at the 2-year amount, it'll be about even for what they're paying today.
By using less water, composting more, and having a smaller solid waste bin, Davis says other people can lower their bill as well.
We want to make sure that we are incentivizing folks to reduce their amount of solid waste and increase their organic disposal.
Davis says that the city had 3 goals in raising the rates: maintain affordability, take care of vulnerable populations, and encourage people to be aware of how much water they are using and the amount of garbage they are throwing out. In Spokane, I'm Madeline Mullins, 4 News Now.
All right, you just finished watching the Baltimore Ravens beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right here on ABC on Monday Night Football. The way this game started, it seemed like it could be a shootout, but the second half comes around and the Ravens really took off, Sydney.
Really, they did. They have so much star power on that Baltimore offense, which makes it hard to just pick one play of the game. But this week, it goes to their star running back, Derrick Henry. And it was an unusually quiet first half for Henry. He had his least amount of carries in a first half this season. But if Henry was raising any questions, he quickly delivered with an answer. That was an 81-yard run, his second longest carry of the year, and it set the Ravens up for a touchdown. In the red zone, Mark Andrews finished that one for them, and Henry reached 21.7 miles per hour, so that's a hard guy to catch. Huge performance from Baltimore. Final score, 41-31. Washington State is coming off a dominant win against Hawaii last Saturday, which means the Cougs now have 7 wins and are bowl eligible after week 7. 6 wins, bowl eligible after week 7. A game on the road always brings a new challenge, and this Saturday against San Diego State is not one to take lightly.
And winning in Southern California in general, I mean, I think I'd have to go back in the archives. I think I saw all the way back to 2013, the last time we won in Southern California. And that's including 3 bowl games, I believe. So it's a challenge. We got to make sure we keep the main thing, and go out there and be fast and aggressive, and that's full 60 minutes. That's not after the first punt or the first time they score. It is immediately out the gate, and that'll be a big emphasis this week.
You'll hear more from Coach Dickert, plus Idaho head coach Jason Eck talks about their rivalry game against Eastern Washington this weekend. That's coming up later in sports.
All right, Sydney, thank you. Well, coming up, we take a look at Spokane's Proposition 1, why some say it's the answer to crime, while others say it goes too far. We break down what you need to know before casting your vote.
Connect with 4 News Now on KXLY+. Sign up for the 4 News Now Daily Local at KXLY.com.
Happy Take and Bake Tuesday!
Every Tuesday at Papa Murphy's, you can get any large pizza for just $12.99, which makes Tuesday the best day to bring home all your favorites.
We might have too many favorites.
Order now at papamurphys.com.
It's time for 4 News Now, Codes for Kids! Drop off new or gently used coats at any of our sponsored locations. We'll bring them to Alsco for professional cleaning, then get them out to local children in need. Donate Coats for Kids through October 31st.
Fred's Appliance is proud to partner with Coats for Kids, and we're giving you a chance to give back and win big. When you donate your coats, you'll be entered for a chance to win a beautiful Electrolux laundry set. You can drop off your coats at any of our Fred's Appliance locations.
I'm Carmela Conroy, and my story starts here. Grandpa was a union mason on the Grand Coulee Dam. Dad worked on the Great Northern Railway. We were raised to look out for our neighbors. That's why, as a Spokane County Deputy Prosecutor, I held violent offenders accountable. As a Foreign Service Officer, I worked in conflict zones. We need leaders in Congress who will stand up for veterans and military families. I'm Carmela Conroy, and I approve this message.
Greetings, Bill Nye here. Reading this is easy, right? Your brain is actually doing something called orthographic processing, recognizing letters and words. It's science. But take a look at Initiative 2117. It's written to confuse you. The mega millionaires behind it don't want you to know it will mean more air pollution, threaten clean water, and put our health at risk. You don't have to be a science guy to know that 2117 is a bad deal for Washington.
Every year, the crowds go crazy for the Cal Triple Play of the Day, where you can get tricked out cool trucks or sporty SUVs just in time for winter. And this week, you can delay all games until next year. Get a minimum $2,000 trade-in value for your old ride, plus get a 2-year service maintenance program with every vehicle sold, which is a triple play opportunity this week at both Cal locations.
Papa Murphy's everyday value lineup means big savings on big flavors, like our new shredded pepperoni, crumbled sausage, or classic cheese pizzas, all for the small price of $7.99 each. Order now at papamurphys.com.
Well, this upcoming election, Spokane voters will decide whether or not to raise the sales tax by 0.1% for community safety initiatives like a traffic unit and neighborhood resource officers. Marissa Rio met with some neighborhood councils today and asked if they think Prop 1 can actually make our community safer.
I'm here in the Comstock neighborhood right now, and I just spoke with the neighborhood council chair here, and he says he's for Proposition 1, mainly because he says that traffic unit is needed. He says this right here is a hot spot. This is Lincoln and 33rd. He says cars speed through this turn right here, and it's just unsafe for the community. 29th and Post, as well as High Drive or other areas the neighborhood council chair says are known for speeding. He believes a traffic safety unit could help make his neighborhood safer.
This is not just me. This is what all of our residents say at our meetings every month. It's over and over. It's a repetitive complaint. It's the public safety aspect, the speeding at all these different locations.
One man in the Balboa South Indian Trail neighborhood says he is against Prop 1. He believes Spokane Fire and Police need the funding, but he doesn't like that the money would also go towards the Office of the Ombuds and Municipal Court. He pointed towards the city's budget deficit as a reason why.
So the Ombudsman office is the least of our concerns currently. I think there's far more better concerns that we should be doing, and unfortunately it just devalues the original ask of what is going on because, again, I'm going to point to our fire. We really need it.
In Spokane, Marissa Rio, 4 News Now.
There are several initiatives on the ballot in Washington as well, including Initiative 2109. If approved, it would repeal the state's capital gains tax. As a reminder, that's the state's 7% tax on the sales of things like stocks, bonds, and other investments. That tax does not kick in until you earn in excess of $262,000. Those who support getting rid of it say it's the first step toward a state income tax and it's driving away successful people. Others say it's a tax on the rich that provides money for public schools. To see how many people actually pay the tax and how much money is generated from it, you can head to KXLY.com. Well, Washington voters will also decide who will be the state's next governor. The candidates are Attorney General Bob Ferguson and former Congressman Dave Reichert. A recent poll found that 16% of voters still haven't made up their minds on who they'll vote for. If you're among the undecided voters, we want to help you make an informed decision. You can submit your questions to Marissa Rio. Her email address is there on your screen. You can also send them to us on Facebook. Just search 4 News Now. In Idaho, voters will decide on if the state should have open primaries. It's labeled Proposition 1 on your ballot. Right now, Idaho operates on a closed party primary, meaning you can only cast a vote for the party you're affiliated with. If approved, Prop 1 would switch to an open primary, meaning voters could vote for whoever they want. This would give the nearly 270,000 unaffiliated voters a chance to make their voices heard during the primaries. Under the initiative, the top 4 candidates who receive the highest amount of votes would advance to the general election. To see why people are for or against this switch, you can head to KXLY.com/forthepeople. The Kootenai County Elections Office says 5,000 people have voted so far early in this election. Elections officials are expecting around 15% of all the registered voters in the county to participate in early voting. Derek Strom spoke with the Kootenai County Clerk about how you can take part in early voting.
Here at the Kootenai County Elections Office, officials are expecting there to be a line out the door for early voting, and they're expecting that line to continue to grow as we get closer to Election Day. So they're urging everyone that's coming here to do early voting to make sure they're registered and they're prepared.
Vote. Urgency. Everyone counts.
The Kootenai County Clerk expects over 14,000 people to vote early in the November election and says the county's elections office is already seeing over 1,000 people per day, but some of those people are running into issues before they can vote because of a law that was passed in 2023.
They can go online to make sure that they're registered at the current address. If they're not registered at the current address, then they need to re-register. And in Idaho, they had a law passed back in July of 2023 that requires a current ID.
And those IDs can include an Idaho driver's license or ID or a federal passport, among others. But over 5,000 people have already successfully voted early in the November election, which is just under 5% of all the registered voters in Kootenai County.
I think it's a good thing because people can get out and vote, and they can register and they can vote right then and there, and early voting kind of relieves the line on Election Day for people too. So it's a balance, but I think it's a good thing that people are coming out and turning out to early vote right now.
The elections office says it saw around 1,000 people per day over the first 4 days of early voting, and it's estimating around 1,500 people per day will visit the office to vote over the first full week of early voting. Idaho voters can still also request an absentee ballot for this election through October 25th.
If you were voting absentee, make sure you return your ballot here at the location, or you can mail it, but it has to be returned back to this office by Tuesday, November 5th at 8 p.m.
In Coeur d'Alene, Derek Strom, 4 News Now.
We have some cold mornings ahead. Tonight we'll be dropping into the mid-30s, just about average, but then well below Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This is in Spokane, even colder in some of the outlying areas. I'll let you know how long this cool weather is going to last. Might want to dig out those heavier coats. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Say less, get more. Buy one, get one for $1. Choose from Bacon McDouble, McChicken, McDouble, or Hot and Spicy McChicken. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
35 years ago, I started going to Planned Parenthood. They help Washington women with pregnancy care, birth control, even cancer screening. But Dave Reichert tried to jeopardize that care. Reichert has voted repeatedly to defund Planned Parenthood. It's part of Reichert's years-long record, trying to ban abortion nationwide, including here in Washington. No politician should ever tell me that I don't have a right to make a decision regarding my body. Dave Reichert is wrong for governor.
I started taking care of my mom about 5 months ago. She has dementia, and then being newly diagnosed with lung cancer, my mom was unable to stay in her home. Balancing work and caregiving has been a struggle. Knowing that WildCares will be available relieves a lot of stress. Having access to those funds would have helped so much, financially and mentally, because life is unpredictable. WildCares moves with you, even if you move out of Washington.
I grew up in Eastern Washington, and it's where my parents have retired, and it's where my wife and I are raising our family. I'm Michael Baumgartner, and in Congress, I'll work for your family by protecting Social Security and Medicare, ensuring veterans get the benefits they've earned, fighting the inflation that hurts so many seniors, single moms, and young people. And I'll work hard to make our neighborhoods safe by securing the southern border and stopping the fentanyl pouring into the country. I'm Michael Baumgartner, and I approve this message.
Say less, get more. Buy one, get one for $1. Choose from Bacon McDouble, McChicken, McDouble, or Hot and Spicy McChicken. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
4 News Now. Expect more on air, online, and on the app.
All right, some breaking news out of the Meade School District. The district is joining the list of school districts denouncing transgender athletes in girls' sports. Meade now joins the Eastmont and Linden school districts in asking the WIAA to examine how the current policies allow biological males to compete in high school sports. Current WIAA policy allows players to participate in activities consistent with their gender identity. All right, we're going to send it over to Chris Crocker now for a look at that first alert forecast, Chris.
We have some cooler weather on the way. Right now, we're in the mid-40s in both Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. Still some cloud cover in Coeur d'Alene, but things have cleared out a bit in Spokane. Still some clouds that will be drifting through from time to time. We have had some precipitation today. Rain pretty good this morning, but only 0.16 of an inch at the airport in Spokane. Obviously, we are still well below average year to date, but boy, there is some more rain to be found in the forecast. Our high today, despite the clouds and the showers, 61 degrees. That's 10 degrees cooler than yesterday, but 55 is our average high. We started the day off at 52. We're going to be a lot cooler than that at night for the rest of the 7-day forecast. Our high temperature trend, this white line is our average high. We're going to be pretty close to average for the next 3 to 4 days. A little bit of a bump there on Saturday before we begin cooling down again, and that is the trend that will continue right on through the end of October and into the beginning of November. This is the 8 to 14-day outlook, October 29th through November 4th. That dark blue indicating a strong signal of below average temperatures, and a little bit of green on the map as well, medium to light green, indicating an enhanced chance of above average precipitation. Cool and wet heading into November could mean a little bit of snow. We typically see our first snow, a rule of thumb, at least a few flakes around Election Day, so that is just about right on time. Precipitation, 0% chance through Friday, and then we're up to 50% on Saturday, and then there's more rain to come Sunday and Monday. Some wet weather, and that's going to allow our overnight lows to bump up closer to 40 degrees Saturday night and into Sunday. In the meantime, before we get to that wet weather, we do have a lot of pretty fall weather to enjoy. Partly to mostly sunny through Friday. High temperatures in the 50s. Overnight lows, though, boy, 3 nights in a row down below freezing in Spokane, including one night in the 20s. If you haven't harvested the last of your garden, and I know there are still some people who haven't, you might want to do that. It is going to start to be a bit of a mushy mess, and hopefully we'll get some breaks in the rain Saturday and Sunday. Get out this weekend and rake up some leaves and clean up the last of that garden, Derek.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. Well, they're labeled top secret, but they ended up online. A recent leak of highly classified U.S. intelligence documents is causing security concerns. Amy Kiley reports on efforts to find out who obtained them and how.
The breach is serious.
The U.S. is investigating a recent leak of highly classified documents, House Speaker Mike Johnson has confirmed.
The leak is very concerning. There's some serious allegations being made there, investigation underway.
The documents contain what appears to be U.S. intelligence on Israeli plans to strike Iran. A source familiar with them says they're authentic. It's unclear how they ended up on Telegram and began circulating publicly online Friday. The FBI is likely tasked with finding out, alongside the Pentagon and intelligence agencies.
We don't want to see it repeated, and we don't know who has access to it, who might want to repeat it again. again.
The documents appear to be intended only for certain officials in the U.S., Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and the U.K. Analysts say they're ending up online instead could make Israel hesitant to share future intelligence. Some experts think that could harm American interests in the Middle East.
We have troops in the region. We need to have prior notice in terms of what the Israelis are planning so we can protect our troops in the response as well.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Great news, Spokane! The Honda store downtown was sold and is now Findlay Downtown Honda. Come see all the new special offers and deals on your favorite Honda Accords and Honda Pilots, as Findlay Downtown Honda celebrates by offering exceptional pricing on all Hondas and fantastic trade-in offers.
Let me hear you say, yay, yay, yay. I got sold.
So, boss man, what are we doing today?
Oh, just annual maintenance.
Annual maintenance?
Yeah, the yearly tune-up to keep the heating and cooling stuff running. Wait, you do get tune-ups on your HVAC equipment, right?
Totally unrelated, but can you come by my house after this and maybe check out my system?
If you stopped working due to an injury or health issue, are you aware that you may qualify for Social Security disability? Hello, I'm Eric Pinar, and it's important to file your claim in a timely manner. So give us a call so you can get the benefits you deserve.
I'm Mark Peterson, the Extreme Team and Horizon Credit Union, ready to take on our next job. If you know of a project that needs an Extreme Team makeover, go to KXLY.com to nominate it. Our thanks to Horizon Credit Union for sponsoring the 4 News Now Extreme Team.
It's time for 4 News Now, Coats for Kids. Drop off new or gently used coats at any of our sponsored locations. We'll bring them to Alsco for professional cleaning, then get them out to local children in need. Donate Coats for Kids through October 31st.
Your locally owned Papa Murphy's is proud to be part of Coats for Kids this year.
Now through the end of October, bring in a coat donation to any Eastern Washington or North Idaho Papa Murphy's location.
And receive a $4 off coupon good for any large or family-sized pizza.
Greetings, Bill Nye here. Reading this is easy, right? Your brain is actually doing something called orthographic processing, recognizing letters and words. It's science. But take a look at Initiative 2117. It's written to confuse you. The mega millionaires behind it don't want you to know it will mean more air pollution, threaten clean water, and put our health at risk. You don't have to be a science guy to know that 2117 is a bad deal for Washington.
Sign up for the 4 News Now playbook at KXLY.com.
Well, people in North Carolina are still dealing with widespread damage nearly a month after Hurricane Helene slammed parts of the U.S. The federal government has been there for weeks helping with recovery and repair, and now FEMA is announcing more help for those affected. CNN's Maribel Gonzalez explains the agency's new program.
North Carolina grappling with the destruction left behind by Hurricane Helene.
Sadly, we have 95 storm-related fatalities over 21 counties.
The federal government approving more than $300 million in assistance and debris removal. And now more help is on the way.
The government will create a brand new program for assistance.
The Biden administration announcing a new community liaison program where representatives will serve as, quote, trusted messengers between FEMA and affected residents. This new aid coming as the Tar Heel state is not only dealing with damage, but also combating misinformation.
Donald Trump is coming to Asheville today. I'm asking that he not share lies or misinformation.
Former President Donald Trump continuing to fuel inaccurate claims about the federal response to Helene.
In North Carolina's hour of desperation, the American people answered the call much more so than your federal government.
Such claims North Carolina's Democratic Governor Roy Cooper dispels and says are getting in the way of helping those who need it.
Many survivors of this storm lost everything. They want help, and they want the truth.
Last weekend, a North Carolina man was arrested for allegedly threatening harm against FEMA employees there to help with Helene recovery.
To truly help people, We must check party politics at the door.
I'm Maribel Gonzalez reporting.
Well, there are 7 new lawsuits and more allegations of rape, sexual assault, and sexual harassment against jailed music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. And we want to warn you, some of the details of this story are disturbing. Combs is currently awaiting trial next year on federal charges of racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. He denies any wrongdoing. But one plaintiff alleges she was drugged and raped by Combs at a party after the MTV Video Music Awards in 2000, when she claims she was just 13 years old. The accuser says a limo driver who allegedly worked for Combs invited her to an after party, telling her Combs liked younger girls and she fit what Diddy was looking for. When she arrived at the party, she says she felt woozy and lightheaded and needed to lie down after having just one drink. That's when the girl says she was raped while Combs watched. Attorneys for Combs did not respond to specific allegations in the new lawsuits, but referred to a previous statement that Mr. Combs has never sexually assaulted anyone. All right, still ahead, both Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump are taking different approaches to persuade voters, what they're doing to try to convince voters in key battleground states. And for months, drivers in downtown Spokane have been dealing with detours on the Washington Street Bridge. When it's expected to reopen, next on 4 News Now.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Why not have the bath of your dreams? With Bath Planet, you can once again relax and enjoy the beauty of your new shower and bath. Our custom-built baths and showers will forever change the way your bathroom looks.
Call today for a free in-home consultation.
I felt like there was just no answers to get out of the anxiety and the depression that I had.
Introducing NeuroStim TMS, Washington's leading provider of transcranial magnetic stimulation, or TMS therapy. TMS is not shock therapy. It's an FDA-approved, easy outpatient experience and covered by all major medical insurances.
There's nothing better than just being able to enjoy life again.
Reach out to NeuroStim TMS today and rediscover the light and joy in your life.
For over 40 years, Idaho had open primary elections. But then, corporate special interests and party elites closed our primaries. Now, 275,000 Idaho voters are shut out. Proposition 1 returns the tradition of open primaries to Idaho, allowing every tax-paying Idahoan to vote in our most important elections. Prop 1 gives power back to regular people. Voting yes on Prop 1 for open primaries will help us get back to how politics used to work and give all Idaho citizens the freedom to vote.
Dear Unleashed, no one knows the feeling of freedom quite the way you do. But damned if we don't come really, really close. Let's break the chain. Yours, Tundra.
Right now, you can lease a new 2024 Tundra for just $469 per month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Nice going, Lou. Nothing like a little confidence boost to help ease you back into the dating scene. Of course, that also includes having a smile you feel good about. Fortunately, Aspen Dental specializes in dental implants made to last a lifetime. And with affordable options and flexible ways to pay, you can get quality work for a price that fits your budget. Right now, get 25% off. Helping our patients put their best smile forward. It's one more way Aspen Dental is in your corner.
Why not have the bath of your dreams? With Bath Planet, you can once again relax and enjoy the beauty of your new shower and bath. Our custom-built baths and showers will forever change the way your bathroom looks.
Check out our new showroom in the Spokane Valley Mall.
All right, welcome back. If you're sick of having to take detours to get to and from downtown via Washington Street, there may soon be a light at the end of the tunnel. The months-long construction on the Washington-Stevens corridor that began in June is nearing an end. So here's what's left to do. The Washington and Stevens bridges are undergoing their last stages of repairs and restoration. And then a little further south, the final phases of pavement overlay and striping are taking place from Spokane Falls Boulevard to 3rd Avenue. Mary Sheridan tells us when these roads will be accessible for drivers and customers in that area.
The city tells me they're hoping to open one lane in either direction across the Washington-Stevens Bridge as soon as next week. This will improve through traffic in the area, which business owners like Bark say can't come soon enough.
Out of sight, out of mind is something that certainly we see. I mean, people do know we're here, but if they're not driving by us, that kind of just general reminder is like, hey, we're here, kind of goes away.
As drivers follow the signs that direct them away from the construction on Washington Street, they miss driving by restaurants like Bark, a rescue pub.
We certainly see a lot of construction around us. Some of it's positive, you know, the growth of the city and everything.
Wade and his wife opened Bark during COVID in 2020. Their restaurant partners with the Spokane Humane Society, so patrons have the opportunity to meet and adopt pets on site. He says the recent road closures have heavily impacted their customer numbers.
We actually see about 30% less business than we normally would. We do get the benefit of being next to a lot of the activities around here with events at Podium, the stadium, and the arena, but we just can't live off of a business alone.
Wade says he's ready to see more through traffic along Washington Street. As for the past few months, he's grateful for those who went out of their way to support the pub.
Our loyal regulars and everything, we just really appreciate the patronage that you give us and the support you give us, and for understanding that it's hard to get to us, but you still make your way here.
In Spokane, Mary Sheridan, 4 News Now.
Well, starting next Tuesday, getting from North Spokane to Spokane Valley will get a whole lot easier with Bigelow Gulch Road expected to reopen. For months, the road has been closed from Havana to Weil, forcing drivers to take some lengthy detours. According to the county, this is the last phase of a plan that's been in the work for more than 20 years, totaling more than $70 million. The county will be holding a ribbon-cutting ceremony on the 29th, which is a week from tomorrow. 2 construction projects closing or finishing up that will make a lot of people a lot more happy.
Very happy.
All right, Chris Crocker joins us once again, and we got a break from the rain, at least for now, but like you said, there is more way down the line.
Yes, just in time for the weekend, but in the short term, we're going to enjoy some pretty fall weather on our satellite and radar. Things are clearing out tonight. We'll have enough cloud cover moving in and out overnight that our temperatures will, in general, stay above freezing around the Spokane area. High temperatures today, 59 in Spokane, 61 in Coeur d'Alene. It was 58 in Pullman and 61 in Lewiston. Now, we had 61 earlier on the graphic. That was our daytime, our 24-hour high. We hit that just after midnight. This was our daytime high, so we were at 61 at midnight, cooled down and did not reach that midnight temperature for a high. 63 in Sandpoint today, 63 degrees in Bonners Ferry. Tomorrow morning's lows will be down in the 30s in most locations, 20s in Colville, couple 40s on the map. This will be one of our warmer nights. We've got some cooler weather coming right around the Spokane area, dropping below freezing in Deer Park, but otherwise we'll be in the mid to even upper 30s overnight. High temperatures tomorrow will be just about average around the region. We'll be in the 50s throughout the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area. Around the region, you'll find 49 in Sandpoint, 61 in Lewiston, and 60 in both Omak as well as Grand Coulee. Your Tuesday planner, a lot of sunshine and light winds. That high of 55 is exactly average. I'll be back with your 7-day forecast and closer look at that wet weather on the way. Derek.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. Well, 2 Navy aviators who were killed in the fighter jet crash near Mount Rainier last week have been identified. According to the Navy, Lieutenant Commander Lindsay Miley Evans and Lieutenant Serena Doug Weilman, who were both from California, were declared dead on Sunday. Both were highly skilled and combat decorated and were part of the electronic attack squadron known as Zappers. They were the only 2 people on board the Growler that crashed near Mount Spokane last Tuesday. President Biden releasing a statement expressing his and the First Lady's grief, saying they were among our nation's finest and had just recently returned to the United States after an extended deployment to the Middle East, defending against Houthi missiles and drone attacks in the Red Sea. All right, Washington State has had themselves quite the season so far. Through week 7, they only have that 1 loss.
And the remainder of their schedule really doesn't look too daunting, but the Cougs aren't holding anything back. Like Jake Dickert says, his team will only keep getting better. That's coming up after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Welcome to Coeur d'Alene Honda.
Thank you. I've been coming here for years, and I've always felt just like family.
At Coeur d'Alene Honda, we've been family owned and operated for over 50 years. We pride ourselves in giving the best customer experience.
And every new car comes with a nationwide lifetime warranty.
We have some of the best selection of pre-owned vehicles to choose from.
And select pre-owned Hondas come with our lifetime warranty.
Coeur d'Alene Honda with the nationwide lifetime warranty at no additional cost to you.
Awarded Dealer of the Year and rated 4.7 on Google.
And don't forget about the lifetime warranty.
I had surgery as a child that I barely remember. But decades later, the insurance company called that a pre-existing condition and denied me long-term care insurance. Washington State created a long-term care benefit to help millions of people like me afford the care we need. But I-2124 will take that benefit away, leaving millions with no way to get or afford long-term care. If it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. That's why we all have to vote no on I-2124.
Here in Washington, we love the word "and," like socks and sandals, flannels and beanies, wheat fields and mountains. And now with FundHub WA, saving money and helping the climate. Find grants to bring resources and funds to your community. Get incentives to grow your business and transition to clean energy. And discover rebates that will save you money at home and on the go and reduce emissions. Find funding opportunities today at fundhub.wa.gov.
It's time for Northern Quest $150,000
Ultimate Game Night Giveaway!
with a brand new Yukon Denali up for grabs. So come on down and play daily to winner. Grand prize drawing November 30th.
So I just heard about Northern Quest's $25,000 Spooky Cash Smash giveaway. Sure, there's nothing spooky about big cash prizes, but winning 10 grand, that would definitely give me goosebumps. You know, if I had skin or whatever. Details at northernquest.com.
The 4 News Now First Alert Weather app. Download or update it today.
The major difference between the first 6 games on Washington State's schedule and their last 6 games is the strength of their opponents. After getting through the front half of the season with just 1 loss, there's not much standing in the way for the Cougars to win out the rest of the regular season. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, and Coach Jake Diggert certainly wouldn't tell you that either. Although WSU won by 32 points last weekend, Diggert says we've yet to see the Cougs play their best football. While there's a lot to continue to build on, in Coach's eyes, there's also a lot the Cougars are doing right.
We're always very critical about our performance when it's done and things that we can always do better. But the first thing every Monday morning, we hunt the good. Like, we are doing a lot of good things. We're playing extremely hard. We're staying together. We love it when we play good offense, defensive football. Like, Saturday was great complementary football. And we felt like the last couple of weeks we didn't always have that.
Along with complimentary football, Dickert wants the team to start faster. Last week, Hawaii got the first points of the game after WSU couldn't convert on its first couple of drives, and the Cougars want to come out explosive right away and stay at that level for all 4 quarters. That'll be important against San Diego State. Kickoff against the Aztecs is this Saturday at 7:30 in San Diego. A rivalry game in Idaho and Eastern Washington's future is this Saturday. The Vandals will bring the Eagles into the Kibbe Dome in a game that neither team will take lightly. Despite Eastern falling in 2 of their last 3 games, they've been able to put up at least 35 points in the last 3 weeks, and that's something the Vandal defense will have their eye on.
They score points on everybody. You know, their Montana game was a shootout. I think they're a classic. They're I think a better football team than their record indicates right now. They've had some tough losses that could have gone either way, but they've scored on everybody. I mean, they put up 36 points on us last year, which was one of the higher numbers that teams put up on us last year.
Vandals have won the last 2 contests against the Eagles, and the last time the Eagles won was 2021. Jason Eck was not yet Idaho's head coach, so far he's 2-0 against Eastern Washington. Former Gonzaga Bulldog Jalen Suggs just signed a 5-year rookie contract extension with the Orlando Magic. It's worth over $150 million. Suggs was with Gonzaga for the 2020-2021 season and then was drafted 5th overall to the Magic. Suggs was a huge playmaker for the Bulldogs, but one of his most memorable plays was that buzzer beater against UCLA in the NCAA Tournament Final Four game. Most Zags fans don't even need to see the screen to know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, it's another edition of our high school football game of the week. Voting is now open, and you can choose between these 3 matchups: Shadle Park and Central Valley, Cheney facing University, and Gonzaga Prep taking on Meade. G-Prep and Meade are both undefeated. Only one of those teams is coming out on the other side with that perfect record, and that's probably why they're leading the vote so far. But if your team is up there and you want to see them featured in our Friday Night Sports Extra highlight show, make sure to vote on our website, KXLY.com, before the end of Thursday night.
How exciting. Well, here are 4 things to know about your weather. It's going to be dry overnight and a beautiful sunny Tuesday. We have some frosty mornings ahead and a rainy weekend. We'll talk about that rainy weekend on the way after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Bigger, brighter, and better than ever. Check in on the new Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino. We've just completed a major expansion, adding more amenities to elevate your guest experience to new heights.
So, what are you waiting for?
Many great careers don't need a 4-year degree. They start out here. Bob Ferguson has a detailed plan to expand apprenticeships and on-the-job training like I had, to give more Washingtonians the skills they need to succeed. And Bob will eliminate 4-year degree requirements for most state jobs, opening doors to more good-paying careers. I would support Bob Ferguson, even if he wasn't my kid brother, but it helps he listens to old machinists like me.
Bob Ferguson for governor.
What's all this?
You said it was a recovery day. I got my yoga mat, foam roller, electrolytes, and protein bars. The whole setup.
Refrigerant recovery, Ben. We're recovering the refrigerant to fix the heat pump.
Oh, right. I knew that. Want a protein bar?
Get a free heat pump with every furnace purchase at Bill's Heating and AC while supplies last. Call now.
Electrolyte?
Ben, take the robe off.
I know that it's hard being out on the streets, and I know that it's really, really hard when you're in active addiction. You want to get clean, you want to get sober, you're constantly in survival mode, and it's so hard to ask for help. But your kids need you. You need you. And you can't have your kids unless you get clean and sober and work on yourself, and they will thank you for that. Let people help you. Recovery is possible.
Greetings, Bill Nye here. Reading this is easy, right? Your brain is actually doing something called orthographic processing, recognizing letters and words. It's science. But take a look at Initiative 2117. It's written to confuse you. The mega millionaires behind it don't want you to know it will mean more air pollution, threaten clean water, and put our health at risk. You don't have to be a science guy to know that 2117 is a bad deal for Washington.
Elevate your game day at Caesar Sportsbook, located inside Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino. The area's largest sportsbook is your VIP seat on the 50-yard line with massive HD screens and live betting. Only at Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino. You just win here.
Hey, good morning, America. Good morning, America. Good morning, America.
Well, believe it or not, there are just 10 days left to participate in 4 News Now's Coast for Kids campaign. You can bring your new or gently used coats to drop-off locations throughout the Inland Northwest until the end of the month. If you don't have any extra coats to donate, but you still want to give, you can pick a coat up at a store like Target, which has kids' coats starting at $20. At Walmart, you can find kids' puffer jackets for as low as $14.99, and TJ Maxx has coats starting at $24.99. You can also find gently used coats at thrift stores like Goodwill, which is Coats for Kids drop-off location this year. Coats can also be donated at Papa Murphy's, Fred's Appliance, Goodwill, and any STCU branch across the Inland Northwest. Once these coats are collected, they'll be cleaned and distributed back into the community to keep kids warm throughout the winter. And Chris, as you mentioned earlier, we got to put an end date on when collecting because we got to get them clean and then get them to kids to keep them warm.
Yes, because we do have some cold weather coming. And I should say we also do accept cash. And I have never paid more than $20 for a coat, and oftentimes $14. I'm a very good coat shopper.
You're a super shopper.
I do know where.
You know what you're doing. I
do know where the deals are, so we'll do that too. But we're going to keep every kid warm this winter just in time for trick or treat. And that's a promise. Let's take a look at our time lapse from today. It was not that chilly, but it felt a little bit cooler than the temperature indicated thanks to some clouds and showers, and then we cleared off just in time for a really pretty sunset, and now it's starting to get crisp outside and we have more rain showing up in the 7-day forecast. Here's a look at some of the rain that we received around the region. Now in Spokane, officially at our airport reporting site, it only amounted to 1,400s, but we had some good beneficial rains throughout Bonner and Boundary County, as well as Kootenai County, through the central panhandle and down onto the Palouse, parts of Latah County, getting about an inch of rain. Many locations in Kootenai and Bonner County reporting more than a ½ inch of precipitation, and even in eastern Washington, crossing down onto the Palouse, we had some beneficial rains. Northern portions of Spokane County, Deer Park reporting close to a ½ inch, and then the further you get into the Columbia Basin, the lighter the precipitation. Here's our key right here. So many indications that you see here in the green, it was over a ½ inch and closer to an inch in some of these areas where you see the darker green in portions of eastern Kootenai County and northern Shoshone County. Our chance of precipitation over the next 5 days, 0 for the next 4, but then it jumps up to 50% on Saturday. We're going to get a more active weather pattern going. Your best chance to stay dry right now, it looks like, is going to be Saturday morning, and then the odds of wet weather increase as we get late in the day. Tracking our weather patterns, starting off at our current time. One front moves off across the region. Wednesday, we do have a system passing by to the south, bringing some showers, some mountain snow, a little bit of mountain snow in the Cascades, and we'll see partly cloudy skies, not the bright blue skies of Tuesday, and then that system moves off. We're nice and dry Friday, and then here's Saturday at 5 a.m. Saturday is the warmest day on our forecast, thanks to the southerly flow in advance of an approaching system that is going to leave a lot of moisture in the Cascades, but not a whole lot on this side of the mountains until we get into Sunday and Monday. Here's Monday at 9 a.m. with valley rain and mountain snow, and then we begin drying off a bit for Tuesday. Here is your planning forecast. 4 dry, beautiful fall days. A few more clouds on Wednesday and Friday. Saturday, the chance of rain coming in late in the day. Our best chance of rain looks like Saturday night into Sunday morning. Little bit of a break, and then more rain coming in Sunday night and into Monday. And it looks like there's a lot more wet weather as we get into the first part of November. It is a La Nina year, after all. We're going to be seeing a lot of that, Derek.
All right, Chris, thank you. In North Idaho news now, permits are available to cut down your own Christmas tree in the Idaho Panhandle National Forest. They're now available to purchase at ranger stations as well as online. Each one is just $5. There are rules, though, that you need to follow regarding where you can pick a tree and how you need to cut it down. You can find those and the link to get your permit on KXLY.com. Well, just over 2 weeks ago in the race for the White House, Vice President Harris swinging through 3 battleground states in one day. Former President Trump rallying in eastern North Carolina after visiting hurricane-ravaged Asheville. ABC's Christiane Cordero has the latest from D.C.
Today, Vice President Harris hitting 3 battleground states in one day with her new Republican ally, Liz Cheney.
We cannot, with such fundamental stakes being presented, afford to be mired in ideological differences.
The former Republican Congresswoman joining Harris for events in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin with a country-over-party message that reaches for voters across the aisle. Harris has repeatedly called Trump a threat to democracy. More recently, she's also called him unfit, exhausted, and unhinged. Harris's running mate on The View today.
What worries me about these comments, some of these that are just so strange that they're hard to imagine, it's the dangerous ones in the middle of that, the enemy from within and some of that.
Today, Trump back in battleground North Carolina, revisiting hurricane-ravaged Asheville, where he has repeatedly spread disinformation about the federal response.
And yet in North Carolina's hour of desperation, the American people answered the call, much more so than your federal government, unfortunately.
Over the weekend, Trump used a new line of attack against Harris, profanity.
We can't stand you, you're a vice president. The worst. You're the worst.
That Pennsylvania rally took a lewd turn when Trump talked about late hometown golf legend Arnold Palmer.
But Arnold Palmer was all man, and I say that in all due respect to women, and I love women. This is a guy that was all man. This man was strong and tough, and I refuse to say it, but when he took showers with the other pros, they came out of there, they said, oh my God, that's unbelievable.
Harris almost immediately responded to Trump's profane attack against her, saying it demeans the office. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Whatever you need to do this fall, AutoNation has your back. Delivering food, an entire team, or a very special delivery. We have an unmatched selection of vehicles at great savings. See us at AutoNation Volkswagen. Now you can take advantage of a new 2024 Volkswagen Tiguan with 0% financing for 60 months or a $2,000 bonus. Visit AutoNation Volkswagen today. What drives you, drives us.
35 years ago, I started going to Planned Parenthood. They help Washington women with pregnancy care, birth control, even cancer screening. But Dave Reichert tried to jeopardize that care. Reichert has voted repeatedly to defund Planned Parenthood. It's part of Reichert's years-long record, trying to ban abortion nationwide, including here in Washington. No politician should ever tell me that I don't have a right to make a decision regarding my body. Dave Reichert is wrong for governor.
My late father-in-law lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had AMD. I didn't know it then, but it can progress to GA, an advanced form of the disease. His struggle with vision loss from AMD made me want to help you see warning signs of GA, like hazy or blurred vision, so it's hard to see fine details. Colors that appear dull or washed out. Or trouble with low light. That makes driving at night a real challenge. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
I grew up in Eastern Washington, and it's where my parents have retired, and it's where my wife and I are raising our family. I'm Michael Baumgartner, and in Congress, I'll work for your family by protecting Social Security and Medicare, ensuring veterans get the benefits they've earned, fighting the inflation that hurts so many seniors, single moms, and young people. And I'll work hard to make our neighborhoods safe by securing the southern border and stopping the fentanyl pouring into the country. I'm Michael Baumgartner, and I approve this message.
At Move Fitness, our job is to get you moving using things like high-energy, fun classes, motivating, knowledgeable trainers, and the best variety of workout equipment in the region. And you can get it all for around $1 a day. Join the movement.
All right, coming up tonight on Nightside, a pregnant woman in Western Washington has gone missing from her home in Auburn. The suspicious circumstances around her disappearance coming up tonight at 11 on Nightside.
It's going to be a beautiful day tomorrow. You'll need your sunglasses again. A high of 55 degrees. We'll stay in the 50s through Friday. A mix of sun and clouds Wednesday and Friday, and then chance of showers Saturday, Sunday, as well as Monday. Now, we will have some dry time this weekend. Looks like the first part of the day on Saturday, that rain coming in late in the day, but we'll get that timing nailed down as we get closer to the weekend.
All right. And Sydney, you've had a long day. You were down on the Palouse earlier, so more from the Cougs and Vandals tonight?
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
It'll be there.
We'll see you on Nightside at 11 o'clock. Thanks for being with us.